All right, so I'm gonna jump right into it. So this is how to build a 10K per month personal brand without having to have a ton of followers, without having to go viral, right? You can do this with literally less than 1,000 followers, and several of my clients have. So if you're here, you know that a personal brand can attract clients. You know that, growing your social following, posting content, it's going to help grow your business, right? And it does that in a couple of different ways. If people have been in your ecosystem for a while, watching your reels, watching your stories, they've been in your email newsletter, watching your YouTube videos, then they already know sort of who you are, what you offer, and what value that you can bring to them. So by the time that they're on a call with you, or you put a call to action out, getting people to buy, it makes the buying process a whole lot easier, right? For me, by the time people jump into calls and it's time to sell, they already know me. They know my system. They've seen my content. They want to work with me. And that level of trust and connection only happens if you are building your personal brand the right way, right? So if you're watching this, you're probably either a business owner, a creator, an entrepreneur. You've probably built up a bit of an audience. You've maybe been posting consistently, right? You've tried posting on YouTube a little bit, and you might even have a few clients. But you're just not making consistent income online, especially upwards of 10K, 20K, 30K per month from social media. So why is that? That's because qualified views don't matter if you can't shift the beliefs of your audience. Now, it doesn't matter how many followers, how many qualified followers you have. If they don't believe that you're the right answer to that problem, if they don't believe that your solution will work for them, they mean nothing, right? They're not going to pay you. So in this video, I'm basically going to show you the exact system that I use to build a 10K per month personal brand. And it's the same system that I use with my clients, right? And this system doesn't require going viral. It doesn't require posting every day or chasing attention, right? And virality. But instead, we focus on shifting beliefs of our followers and our target customers, building trust with them, and then ultimately installing a really simple, scalable system into your business to move people from just watching your content, right? Watching your reels, watching your YouTube, reading your newsletter, to actually wanting to work with you and pulling the trigger to do that. So first I want to talk about the attention trap. Most creators, most business owners think that building a personal brand is just about getting views, getting followers, right? Posting content that brings people into your ecosystem. But in reality, building a profitable personal brand is not about getting more qualified views. You're probably sitting there thinking, right, more followers will equal more money. So the goal of building a personal brand is to just get as many followers as possible and grow that number. But that's not true, right? Because as we talked about earlier, qualified followers do not equal more money for your business. You post value, you attract followers, you're getting some DMs, but ultimately you're not converting with your content. And that's because attention doesn't equal trust. So let's take a quick example here. So on the left here, this post got 1 million, 1.5 million views, right? You can see almost 80,000 likes, almost 200 comments, but it brought in no money for my business. Meanwhile, the reel on the right only got 3,000 views, but it made me $3,000. And so you're probably wondering, like, how's that possible, right? The reel on the left did so much better theoretically, and the reel on the right did pretty shit in comparison. But that's because I was doing things the right way in the second reel, and I was talking to my ideal customer and helping them understand things from my perspective. And so that led to a 3K deal. And that's really the shift you need to have, right? Is the goal isn't to get views. It's not to get attention. It's to build trust and to build connection with the people that you want to work with, right? So why did this happen? Why did this one reel do way worse but bring in more money? You don't need 100,000 strangers who like your content. You don't even need 10,000 strangers. You just need 100 people inside your world who trust you as the only solution or the best solution to their problem. All right, so knowing that, here's how to build a personal brand that actually sells. So there are 4 elements of a magnetic, profitable personal brand that I want to talk about, right? And these are non-negotiable. So if you don't have these in place, you need to figure that out. And I can help you do that, but we'll talk about that later. So starting with number one, core ideology. You need to build a foundation of your brand first. Who's your content for? Who are you targeting? Who do you want to work with, right? Who can you best help? And then from there, you look at what's their anti-vision? Like, what's the life that they're trying to avoid? What are the things that they wake up every day and are like, I do not want my life to look this way, right? And then you look at what's their vision? What's the life that they're trying to achieve? What are they moving toward? And then from there, you pick 2 or 3 content topics that you can talk about to help them get from their anti-vision to their vision. And that's really the core ideology of a brand, right? So if you don't have this in place yet, sit down and think, what are my ideal customers? What is their perfect life? What are they working towards? Is it their health? Is it their relationships? Is it their wealth? Is it their mindset? And get really clear on that. And then look at the anti-vision. Like, what are the things that they're trying to avoid? Whether that's, they don't want to be unhealthy. They don't want to be broke. They don't want to not have strong relationships, right? They don't want to not know what they're doing in the gym, things like that. Now let's move on to number 2, which is an insightful point of view. With so much content, with so many creators out there, all posting similar information, you need something that's unique to you. You need to stand out somehow, right? And that way to stand out is your unique story. It's your unfair advantage. You cannot be posting generic content. You cannot be posting content that any other creator in your niche would be posting, right? Think of each video as, I'm the only person on earth who could have made this exact video, right? You need to put your unique lens, your unique experience onto clients' problems and solve them from there, right? Because ultimately storytelling creates emotion. You need to infuse your story, your transformation into the topics you're talking about, or frankly, no one will care, right? And you can look at these 3 different creators. They all have very unique perspectives, very different backgrounds, and they bring that into their content, which is a main reason that these guys have so many followers and have so much reach online. It's because you know their story and you connect with their story, and you frankly want to be more like them. Next is the unique mechanism. So this is basically your offer. So you need to be able to package your systems and your process into something that's brandable and ownable, right? So I like to think of it as positioning your process like a software. So like, for instance, mine is the solopreneur system, right? It's a step-by-step framework and structure that I use to take people from posting randomly, not knowing how to create content that attracts their dream follower, to getting clear on who they're targeting, what is their dynamic offer, and then creating a content ecosystem that helps them achieve their goals, bringing their followers from just viewing their content to actually paying them, right? So that is my unique mechanism, and it's branded. It's solopreneur system. No one else on the internet is offering this exact solution. If you have a statement for your offer, like, I help X type of person do Y or get Y result using this system, that Z, that unique system needs to be different from everyone else, or else why would anyone pay you when they could probably find someone who does something similar for cheaper? And finally, let's look at the verbal and the visual branding aspect, right? So fonts, colors, filming locations, these things all matter and are all important when you're building your personal brand. When someone first comes across your account, or even if they've been following you for a while and see a reel pop up, they should know that it's you immediately, right? And so you can see on the left, you can see my profile, and you can also see Tom Noske's, right? It's really clear. We have clear branding. We use the same fonts, the same color aesthetic, and it's clear to tell that if you came across one of our videos, that it works well with the rest of the content ecosystem, right? The goal is to create content that becomes a world, not just individual posts. They need to work together. And another key aspect here is your content aesthetic, like how it looks? A lot of people overlook this. They say, oh, like it doesn't matter. Like, more what matters is the information. But honestly, if you're a professional, if you're good at what you do, you want your personal brand to reflect that in terms of how it looks, right? How it comes off in the mind of viewers who come across your page for the first time. You want your aesthetic, your brand, you want it to reflect your level of professionalism and the results that your offer will bring them. So definitely don't overlook that. Ultimately, brands with these core core aspects, they repel the masses, right? We're not trying to attract everyone. We're trying to convert the few deeply and build that 100-person audience that I talked about earlier, right? So now let's look at a content strategy. And I call this the monetization ecosystem, right? And it's what I use, and it's what I use with my clients to create high ticket buyers from a small audience. So the steps are basically attention, shift, proof, depth, and conversion. So let's start with attention content. So for attention content, we really want to be thinking about what are the pain points, what are the burning problems that my ideal customer experiences on a daily basis, and how can I create content that, first of all, calls out that problem, and second of all, helps them solve the problem, right? So think about hooks that would stop their scroll. Think about polarizing phrases that would get them intrigued and make them want to stop and scroll through your carousel and learn more about what you have to say about the topic. Anything that stops the scroll is really the main goal of attention content. Second is belief shifting content, right? So a huge part of building a personal brand isn't just educating. It's breaking the old paradigm. It's shifting the previously held beliefs of your ideal customer and the limiting beliefs that they have that are holding them back, either from working with you or working with anyone at all, right? So if you're a fitness coach, you can't have a ton of followers who follow you for your education, but think, oh, like this guy's training program wouldn't work for me, or I'm too busy to stick to a diet. Like you need to shift these limiting beliefs that are preventing these people from really taking action and changing their lives. And that's what this type of content should do, right? So you need to expose the flawed logic that they have behind their current path, their current way of thinking, and basically position your mechanism as your solution as the thing that will get them from where they are now to where they want to go. All right, so belief shifting content is huge. It's totally underutilized. And like, for instance, for me, like I could create content about here's why building a personal brand isn't about getting a ton of followers, right? Because a lot of people think that is sort of what it's all about, right? Shifting the belief to say, you really don't need 10K, 100K followers. You literally just need 100 people, right? And that's an example of sort of belief shifting content. Now let's take a look at proof content, right? This is pretty basic stuff, right? It's testimonials, it's screenshot, it's lifestyle proof, showing you as a successful coach, basically showing that, hey, here are the clients, here are the results that I've gotten from my clients. Here are my own results. Here are, screenshots of payments, things like that are really tangible proof that you know your shit and that you can help, right, the person on the other side of the screen achieve their goals as well. When we're posting results or proof content, we're not like boasting. We're not like, hey, look at me, look how good I am. This is what my clients got. It's more like, hey, these are the real results I've got for clients, for people just like you in your same position, right? And I want to show you that I can help you because I want you to win and I want you to achieve the result that you want. And I honestly think that I'm the best person to do that for you, right? So let your results speak for yourself and don't try to shove this sort of content down people's throat and be really boastful or bragging. It's more like, hey, I can help you. Here's how, right? Here's the results. Here's the testimonials. And if you're interested, DM me. So finally, let's look at long form content. All right, so the past 3 types of content was more focused on short form. Long form content is things like your weekly newsletter and your YouTube, where it's more than just 30 seconds that someone's spending with you, right? It's 10, it's 15 minutes. And over a period of weeks, months, and years, that amount of time is really what builds trust with your audience, especially if you're posting educational content, right? If you're really diving deep into your subject matter and a problem that they care about. YouTube and long form is becoming more popular now because coaches, content creators are finally realizing that, a 30-second reel isn't going to make someone spend thousands of dollars on you, right? It's a 30-minute YouTube video where you break down every part of the problem that they're experiencing, you diagnose the problem, and then you give them a solution that over time is going to make them think, wow, like this guy knows his shit. And this is the exact person that I need to be working with, right? You need to position yourself as the only one with the solution to their specific problem. So you need to be doing long form videos, email newsletter. I do both, right? So And this is where you take topics that you talk about in your reels and you really go in depth and break them down and get really like granular on them. And finally, sales content. So this is the type of content where you're including calls to action, you're inviting them to click a link to book a call, you're offering lead magnets, you're asking them to DM you a keyword, you're doing story sequences. And the whole point here is, at a certain point, we can be posting all this valuable content and shifting all these beliefs. But if you don't give people an opportunity to take that next step, right, to hop on a call, to check out your free resource, then they're not going to. So you need to make it easy for them to take that next step. And that's how sales content works. That said, I don't recommend doing a ton of it every week. Like I would keep it maybe to 10, 20% of your content be more sales content and the rest be the other 4 types, right? So people don't just think you're trying to sell them the whole time. So ultimately, these 5 types of content: 1, attract eyes to your page; 2, build trust with these people who see your content and your followers; and 3rd, and most importantly, convert. So if you've made it this far, it means that you already know sort of the majority of these concepts. You know what you should be doing, but you're probably not doing it, right? At the end of the day, content alone does not get you paid. It's the belief and the trust that come with that content that do. Right? And so once that belief and that trust are installed, the audience size doesn't matter. The algorithm doesn't matter. Your system does the heavy lifting even when you're not working. Right? Your content is working for you and your brand becomes a machine. So now there's 2 options, right? So if you're ready to start taking your personal brand seriously and building out your systems, just DM me the word brand on Instagram and you'll be able to get access to my Solopreneur system, where I work one-on-one with creators, with coaches, with entrepreneurs to build your brand, your offer, and your monetization ecosystem. Right? If you're not ready yet, totally fine. That's all good. Feel free to subscribe for more weekly educational videos. You can also join my free weekly newsletter where I go into depth on topics about entrepreneurship, building a personal brand, self-development, and basically everything you need to build a high trust personal brand as a creator and entrepreneur. But that's the end of the video. Thanks for watching. I hope you got a lot of value out of it. Remember to subscribe and I'll see you in the next one.